I woke up one morning, overwhelmed by a storm of negative thoughts. It felt like my mind was a battlefield, and I was losing the fight. But then I stumbled upon the wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that changed everything for me. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, the wind howling around you, and realizing you have the power to choose how to respond. That's the essence of Stoicism, taking control when everything seems chaotic. Have you ever felt trapped by your own thoughts, like they're a cage you can't escape? The great Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This insight ignited a spark in me, and I began to see my challenges as opportunities. What if I told you that transforming your mindset could start today? Picture yourself breaking free from that mental prison. The lessons I learned weren't just theoretical, they were practical tools, ready for anyone willing to wield them. So, stay with me as we explore 7 powerful Stoic lessons that can help you cut through the noise and reclaim your peace of mind. Are you ready to take the first step? Let's dive in. Lesson 1. Acceptance of reality. I've come to realize that life, in all its complexity, is often shaped by the way we think about it. When I say that life is what your thoughts make it, I'm speaking from experience. There was a time when I lived in a constant state of denial, attempting to twist my reality into something more palatable. But the truth is, acceptance is the first step towards freedom. It's about acknowledging that things are as they are, not as I wish they could be. By accepting the reality around me, I freed myself from the shackles of negative thinking that used to drag me down. Accepting reality doesn't mean I have to like everything about it. There are certainly aspects of life that can be tough, frustrating, or downright unfair. However, I've learned that fighting against these truths only leads to more suffering. I remember a particularly challenging period in my life where I resisted my circumstances, clinging to the hope that things would change. It was exhausting. Eventually, I had to confront the fact that my unhappiness stemmed from my refusal to accept the current state of my life. Once I let go of my resistance, I found a sense of peace that had been eluding me. This acceptance is an active process. It requires me to continuously check in with myself and recognize when I'm slipping back into denial or negative thought patterns. I've incorporated practices like journaling and mindfulness into my routine, which help me stay grounded in reality. When I write down my thoughts, I can see them for what they are, just thoughts. They don't have to define my reality. This practice has been liberating, allowing me to view my life with clarity and compassion, rather than through a lens of disappointment. Moreover, accepting reality has made me more empathetic towards others. I've noticed that when I accept my own flaws and limitations, I become more understanding of those around me. People are navigating their own struggles, and by acknowledging that life can be hard for everyone, I create space for connection and support. This acceptance fosters a sense of community, reminding me that we're all in this together, facing the ups and downs of life. Ultimately, accepting reality has become a cornerstone of my mental well-being. It's not about giving up or resigning myself to a fate I don't want. Rather, it's about embracing life as it is, with all its imperfections. This shift in perspective has allowed me to cultivate gratitude and resilience, paving the way for a more fulfilling existence. One of the most profound lessons I've learned is the importance of focusing on the present moment. The saying, "The past and the future have no power over the present," resonates deeply with me. I used to spend countless hours ruminating over past mistakes or anxiously anticipating future challenges. This constant mental chatter only served to distract me from experiencing life as it unfolds. But when I made a conscious effort to practice mindfulness, everything changed. Living in the now has helped me appreciate the small joys that often go unnoticed. Whether it's enjoying a cup of coffee in the morning or taking a walk in nature, being present allows me to savor these moments fully. I remember a day when I was caught up in a whirlwind of thoughts about work deadlines and personal obligations. Then, I took a deep breath and focused on the simple act of walking. I noticed the feel of the ground beneath my feet, the sound of the leaves rustling in the breeze, and the warmth of the sun on my skin. It was a powerful reminder that life is happening right now, and I didn't want to miss it. Practicing mindfulness also helps me manage stress and anxiety. When I catch myself spiraling into worry about the future, I use techniques like deep breathing or grounding exercises to bring my focus back to the present. I've found that when I concentrate on what's happening right now, my worries often dissipate. It's as if I've cleared a fog, revealing the clarity that was always there, waiting for me to acknowledge it. In conversations, I've noticed that being present enhances my connections. I'm more engaged, listening intently rather than thinking about my response while the other person is speaking. This shift has transformed my relationships, allowing for deeper, more meaningful interactions. I genuinely enjoy these moments of connection, knowing that I'm fully present for the people I care about. Ultimately, focusing on the present has become a practice of gratitude. It reminds me to appreciate the beauty of life as it is right now. I've learned that while I can plan for the future and reflect on the past, the real magic lies in embracing the moment I'm in. This realization has enriched my life in ways I never imagined and continues to be a guiding principle in my journey. Lesson 2. Distinguishing what is under our control. One of the most liberating insights I've come across is the necessity of distinguishing what is under my control from what is not. The phrase, "the first thing to do is separate what is in our control from what is not," has been a game changer for me. For far too long, I felt overwhelmed by circumstances beyond my reach, and this led to a cycle of anxiety and frustration. It was only when I took a step back and really evaluated my situation that I began to understand the power of this distinction. In my day-to-day life, I often encounter situations that are simply out of my hands. Whether it's the behavior of others, unexpected events, or even the weather, I've had to learn to let go of the urge to control everything. This realization was both daunting and freeing. By acknowledging that I can't control external factors, I've redirected my energy towards things I can influence, such as my reactions, my mindset, and my choices. This shift has drastically reduced my stress levels, allowing me to approach challenges with a clearer head. An example that stands out to me was a time when I was waiting for a job response. I found myself obsessively checking my email, spiraling into worry about every possible outcome. It was exhausting. Once I recognized that I had no control over the hiring process, I decided to focus on what I could do, preparing for other opportunities and enhancing my skills. This not only alleviated my anxiety, but also empowered me to take charge of my career path rather than feeling helpless. I've also learned that this distinction applies to my emotional responses. I can't control how others treat me, but I can control how I respond to their actions. By practicing self-awareness, I've become better at managing my emotions, choosing to react with understanding rather than frustration. It's a continuous process, but the more I practice, the more adept I become at navigating life's challenges with grace. This clarity surrounding control has also improved my relationships. I find myself less reactive to the actions of others, understanding that their choices are their own and not a reflection of me. This perspective fosters a healthier dynamic, allowing me to approach conflicts with empathy and patience. By focusing on what I can control, my thoughts, feelings, and actions, I create a more harmonious environment for myself and those around me. In embracing this principle, I've discovered a sense of empowerment that I never thought possible. It's liberating to realize I don't have to shoulder the weight of the world on my shoulders. Instead, I can focus my energy on cultivating a positive mindset and taking meaningful actions that align with my values. This distinction between control and lack of control has truly transformed my approach to life, making me more resilient and adaptable in the face of challenges. Life has a way of throwing curveballs at us, doesn't it? I've come to realize that adversity is not just an obstacle. It's an integral part of living. Every challenge I face feels like a test, a moment to either sink or swim. When I encounter tough times, I remind myself that these moments are opportunities to grow stronger. Each setback has the potential to teach me something valuable about myself and the world around me. Instead of viewing challenges as purely negative experiences, I try to see them as stepping stones toward personal development. I find that by shifting my perspective, I can tackle difficulties with a more open mindset. For instance, when I lost my job a few years back, it felt like the end of the world. But upon reflection, it became clear that this adversity opened the door for new opportunities I had never considered. I learned to embrace uncertainty and view it as a chance to explore new paths. This shift in perspective didn't come easily, but it was incredibly liberating. I started to see the potential for growth in every struggle I faced, which has made me more resilient over time. Resilience isn't about being unbreakable. It's about learning to bounce back. I've realized that it's okay to feel overwhelmed or defeated sometimes. What matters is how we respond to those feelings. When life gets tough, I remind myself that it's perfectly normal to feel vulnerable. Acknowledging my emotions allows me to process them rather than suppress them. This acceptance is crucial for building resilience. By allowing myself to feel, I equip myself with the emotional tools needed to face the next challenge head-on. I've also found that sharing my struggles with others can be incredibly helpful. When I talk to friends or family about my challenges, I often gain new insights and perspectives. It's comforting to know that I'm not alone in facing adversity. We all have our battles, and hearing others' experiences helps me to put my own into context. This sense of community not only boosts my resilience, but also fosters deeper connections with those around me. We become each other's support systems, and that can make all the difference. In cultivating resilience, I've learned to celebrate my small victories. Each time I navigate a difficult situation successfully, I take a moment to acknowledge my progress. These little wins serve as reminders that I have the strength to overcome challenges. Whether it's getting through a tough day at work or handling a personal crisis, recognizing these moments fuels my motivation to keep pushing forward. Life may be full of adversities, but it's also rich with opportunities for growth, and embracing that duality has been a game changer for me. Lesson 3. Practice of gratitude. Gratitude has become a cornerstone of my daily life. It's fascinating how shifting my focus to appreciate what I have can dramatically change my outlook. Instead of fixating on what's missing or what went wrong, I've learned to acknowledge the positives, no matter how small they may seem. This simple practice has transformed my perspective, allowing me to cultivate a more positive mindset. When I wake up each morning, I make it a point to reflect on at least 3 things I'm grateful for. It sets a positive tone for my day. There's something powerful about recognizing the good in our lives. For instance, I've started to appreciate the little moments, like a warm cup of coffee in the morning or a friendly smile from a stranger. These seemingly trivial aspects hold immense value and remind me that life is filled with beauty, even amid chaos. By focusing on gratitude, I've been able to shift my attention away from negativity and instead foster a sense of contentment. It's a gentle reminder that even on tough days, there's always something to be thankful for. Another benefit of practicing gratitude is how it strengthens my relationships. When I express appreciation for the people in my life, it deepens our bonds. I've found that taking the time to acknowledge what others do for me creates an atmosphere of mutual respect and kindness. Whether it's a quick text to thank a friend or a heartfelt note, these gestures go a long way in nurturing connections. It's a beautiful cycle. Expressing gratitude not only uplifts my spirits, but also inspires others to do the same. Gratitude also serves as a powerful antidote to negativity. Whenever I find myself spiraling into pessimistic thoughts, I pause and list what I'm thankful for. This simple exercise pulls me back into a more balanced state of mind. It's amazing how quickly my mood can shift when I consciously redirect my thoughts. I realize that I have the power to influence my emotional state by focusing on abundance rather than scarcity. This realization has been incredibly empowering and has helped me navigate life's ups and downs with a more positive attitude. Moreover, keeping a gratitude journal has been a game changer for me. Each night, I jot down a few things I appreciated that day. This practice not only enhances my awareness of the good in my life, but also provides a tangible record of my blessings. On days when I feel down, I can revisit these entries and remind myself of life's joys. It's like having a personal treasure chest filled with moments of happiness that I can turn to whenever I need a boost. Gratitude, quite simply, has become a lens through which I view my life, a lens that highlights the richness of my experiences. Reflecting on my thoughts and behaviors has become an essential part of my personal growth journey. I've learned that self-criticism, when approached constructively, can be a powerful tool for change. Instead of berating myself for mistakes, I try to analyze what went wrong and how I can improve. This process of reflection allows me to learn from my experiences, rather than simply dwell on them. It's all about shifting my mindset from one of self-blame to one of curiosity and growth. In moments of self-reflection, I often ask myself tough questions. What could I have done differently? How did my actions contribute to the outcome? These inquiries may feel uncomfortable at first, but they are crucial for understanding myself better. I've come to see this self-criticism as a necessary part of evolution. By facing my shortcomings head-on, I empower myself to make positive changes. It's a delicate balance, though. I have to remind myself to be gentle and compassionate with my show. I've also found that sharing my reflections with trusted friends can be incredibly beneficial. Discussing my thoughts with others often reveals blind spots I hadn't noticed. Friends can offer fresh perspectives and insights that I might overlook. This collaborative approach to self-criticism fosters accountability and encourages me to stay committed to my personal growth journey. It's easier to navigate challenges when I have a support system that encourages honesty and vulnerability. Moreover, it's easy to fall into the trap of only focusing on what still needs improvement, but acknowledging my achievements keeps me motivated. When I reflect on how far I've come, it inspires me to continue pushing forward. This practice of celebrating small victories reminds me that growth is a journey, and every step counts, even if it feels insignificant at the moment. Lastly, I've discovered the importance of self-compassion in this process. It's all too easy to fall into harsh self-criticism, but I remind myself that I'm human and imperfect. Embracing self-compassion allows me to treat myself with the same kindness I would offer a friend. It's not about ignoring my flaws, but rather accepting them as part of who I am. This balance between self-critique and self-compassion has been pivotal in fostering a healthier relationship with myself, ultimately leading to a more positive mindset. Lesson 4. Cultivating empathy and compassion. Empathy and compassion have become guiding principles in my life. I've realized that when I encounter someone who irritates me, it often stems from my inability to understand their perspective. Instead of reacting with frustration, I strive to see the situation through their eyes. This shift in mindset has not only helped me to manage my emotions, but has also enriched my relationships. Developing empathy enables me to connect with others on a deeper level, fostering a sense of community and understanding. When someone acts out or seems distant, my first instinct used to be to take it personally. Now I pause and consider what might be going on in their life. Everyone has their battles, and often, their behavior is a reflection of their struggles rather than a commentary on me. This realization has been liberating. Instead of harboring resentment, I find myself feeling compassion for their situation. It's a reminder that we're all human, navigating our unique challenges. This perspective shift eases my emotional burden and promotes a more harmonious interaction. Moreover, practicing empathy enhances my emotional intelligence. I've learned to tune into my feelings and those of others, which has improved my communication skills. When I approach conversations with an empathetic mindset, I listen actively, and this creates a safe space for open dialogue, where both parties feel heard and valued. It's amazing how a little empathy can transform a potentially heated exchange into a constructive conversation. By fostering this environment, I contribute to healthier relationships and promote understanding. Volunteering has also deepened my sense of empathy. When I engage with individuals from different backgrounds or those facing hardships, it opens my eyes to the complexities of their experiences. Each These moments of connection have taught me the importance of compassion and how small acts of kindness can make a significant difference in someone's life. It's a humbling experience that reinforces the idea that we all have the power to uplift one another. Lastly, cultivating empathy has prompted me to practice self-compassion as well. I've learned that I can extend the same understanding and kindness to myself that I offer others. When I make mistakes or struggle, I remind myself that it's okay to be imperfect. This self-empathy softens my inner critic and encourages me to approach my challenges. I've come to realize that empathy is like a superpower we all have, but often forget to use. Whenever someone annoys me, I try to remind myself that my irritation isn't really about them. It's more about my own inability to understand their situation. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating. Instead of feeling anger or frustration, I can step back and think, what might they be going through? When I do this, it's almost like a weight lifts off my shoulders. It's fascinating how empathy can change the dynamics of any interaction. Think about it. When you approach someone with understanding, it creates a space for openness. Instead of a confrontation, you're faced with a conversation. I remember a time when a coworker snapped at me during a stressful project. My first instinct was to defend myself, but instead, I took a breath and asked if they were okay. It turned out they were dealing with some personal issues that made them irritable. Recognizing their humanity allowed me to respond with compassion rather than retaliation. Empathy doesn't just help us navigate difficult relationships, it also fosters a more positive mindset. When I focus on understanding others, I find that my own negative thoughts tend to fade into the background. It's like a mental cleanse. I become less consumed by my problems and more aware of the shared struggles we all face. It's a reminder that we're all in this complicated dance called life together. This sense of connection can be profoundly healing, both for myself and for those around me. And let's not forget about the ripple effect of compassion. When we show empathy to others, we inspire them to do the same. I've noticed that when I practice kindness and understanding, it often encourages those around me to drop their defenses and engage more authentically. It's like we're creating a little bubble of positivity. Over time, this can lead to a more supportive community, where people feel valued and understood. Isn't that a powerful thought? Developing empathy and compassion takes practice, just like any other skill. I've found that actively seeking opportunities to connect with others, whether through volunteering, listening to friends, or even engaging with strangers, helps me hone this ability. The more I immerse myself in understanding diverse perspectives, the better I become at recognizing the humanity in everyone I encounter. It's a journey worth taking, and one that continually enriches my life. Lesson 5. Practicing gratitude. Gratitude is one of those buzzwords that gets tossed around a lot, but when I really dig into what it means, it transforms my entire outlook. I've started keeping a gratitude journal, where I jot down 3 things I'm thankful for each day. At first it felt a bit forced, but over time I began to notice how it shifted my mindset. Instead of fixating on what's lacking in my life, I started appreciating the little things, the warmth of the sun on my face, the laughter of a friend, or even the simple pleasure of a good cup of coffee. What's interesting is that practicing gratitude isn't just about listing things. It's about cultivating a deeper awareness of the positive aspects of life. There are days when everything seems to go wrong, but taking a moment to reflect on even the smallest blessings can provide a much-needed perspective shift. For instance, when I had a particularly tough day at work, I found comfort in recalling the supportive messages from my family. It's those little reminders that help ground me and pull me back from the edge of negativity. Gratitude also has a way of enhancing our relationships. I've noticed that when I express appreciation to others, it strengthens our bond. A simple thank you or acknowledging someone's effort can make a world of difference. It's a way of recognizing the humanity in each other and fostering goodwill. I remember a time when a colleague helped me out during a tight deadline. I made it a point to express my gratitude, and it not only brightened their day but also cultivated a stronger working relationship between us. One of the most profound aspects of gratitude is its ability to rewire our brains. Research shows that regularly practicing gratitude can lead to increased levels of happiness and reduced symptoms of depression. It's like training our minds to focus on the positive rather than dwelling on the negative. I found that even on challenging days, simply taking a moment to acknowledge what I'm grateful for has a calming effect. A gentle reminder that there's always something to appreciate, no matter how small. Ultimately, practicing gratitude isn't just about feeling good. It's about creating a more fulfilling life. When we shift our focus away from what we lack and toward what we have, we open ourselves up to abundance. It's a habit I'm committed to nurturing, knowing that each moment of gratitude enriches my experience and adds depth to my relationships. Lesson 6. Reflecting and self-critique. Self-reflection is a powerful tool, yet it can feel daunting. It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and forget to pause and assess our thoughts and actions. I've learned that taking the time to reflect can lead to valuable insights. For me, it often starts with a simple question: what did I learn today? This practice helps me identify patterns in my behavior and recognize areas where I can grow. When I engage in self-critique, I try to approach it with kindness. It's easy to fall into the trap of harshly judging myself for mistakes or perceived failures. Instead, I focus on constructive criticism. For instance, if I mishandled a situation, I ask myself what I could have done differently, rather than wallowing in regret. This shift allows me to learn from my experiences without being paralyzed by negativity. One of the most transformative aspects of self-reflection is recognizing the impact of my thoughts on my emotions. There are times when I catch myself spiraling into negative thinking. By reflecting on those moments, I can pinpoint the triggers and replace those thoughts with healthier, more balanced perspectives. It's a continuous process, but each small victory builds my resilience and strengthens my ability to navigate life's challenges. I've also found that journaling is an effective way too. Putting pen to paper allows me to clarify my thoughts and feelings. I often write about my experiences, analyzing my reactions and the lessons I can glean from them. This practice not only enhances my self-awareness, but also serves as a record of my growth over time. Looking back at my entries reminds me of how far I've come and reinforces the importance of ongoing self-reflection. In the end, self-reflection and critique are about fostering a deeper understanding of ourselves. It's a journey of self-discovery that encourages growth and healing. By taking the time to reflect on our experiences and thoughts, we create space for positive change and a more authentic life. It's a practice I cherish, knowing that it empowers me to become the best version of myself. Lesson 7. Developing resilience. Resilience is a quality I've come to admire in myself and others. It's that inner strength that allows us to bounce back from adversity, and I've realized that it's not something we're born with. It's a skill we can cultivate. Life is full of challenges, and how we respond to them shapes who we are. I've faced my fair share of obstacles, and each one has taught me valuable lessons about perseverance and adaptability. One of the key aspects of developing resilience is embracing adversity as a part of life. I used to view challenges as roadblocks, but now I see them as opportunities for growth. For instance, when I faced a major setback in my career, it felt devastating at the time. But looking back, I realized that it pushed me to reevaluate my goals and ultimately led me to a more fulfilling path. Each challenge I encounter becomes a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Another important factor in building resilience is maintaining a positive mindset. I've learned that the way I frame my thoughts can significantly impact my ability to cope with difficulties. Instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" I now try to reframe it as, "What can I learn from this experience?" This shift allows me to approach challenges with curiosity rather than despair. It's amazing how a simple change in perspective can lead to newfound strength. Surrounding myself with supportive people has also played a crucial role in my resilience. I've realized that having a strong support system can make all the difference when navigating tough times. Whether it's friends, family, or mentors, connecting with those who uplift and inspire me helps me stay grounded. They remind me that I'm not alone in my struggles and that it's okay to lean on others when the going gets tough. Finally, I found that self-care is essential for building resilience. Taking care of my physical and mental well-being allows me to face challenges with a clearer mind and a stronger spirit. Whether it's through exercise, mindfulness practices, or simply taking time to relax, nurturing myself provides the foundation for resilience. I've learned that prioritizing self-care isn't selfish. It's a necessary investment in my ability to weather life's storms. In essence, resilience is about embracing life's unpredictability with an open heart. It's a journey of self-discipline. The more I cultivate resilience, the better equipped I am to navigate whatever comes my way. And honestly, it's a journey I'm grateful to be on. As we wrap up our exploration of the 7 lessons to break free from negative thoughts, let's take a moment to reflect. Remember what Marcus Aurelius said: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple yet profound truth is our guiding light. Now I want you to ask yourself, what thoughts are holding you back today? How can you apply these lessons to transform that inner dialogue? Picture your mind as a garden. What weeds can you pull out to make space for growth and positivity? As you step back into your daily life, keep these Stoic principles close. Each time negativity creeps in, challenge it. Embrace the discomfort and see it as a chance to strengthen your resilience. And let's not forget, the journey to mental freedom is ongoing. So how will you practice these lessons this week? Will you journal about your thoughts, or perhaps take a moment each day to meditate on your own mindset? Share your strategies in the comments below. Let's build a community that uplifts and inspires. Remember, the power to change your thoughts is within you. Keep pushing forward and embrace the Stoic path.